Hey everyone, first of all, I want to apologize for looking like crap. I am in charge of a huge fall festival at our elementary school tomorrow, and I have not slept a straight 8 hours. I keep waking up in the middle of the night, panicking that I'm forgetting something, which happened, of course, again last night. So this is the how to put on makeup when you have 5 minutes to get out the door because you finally fell asleep and now you realize you have to race out the door, get the kids to school, and run and do a bunch of PTA stuff. So if you think that this is passable for makeup, I will be happy to do a tutorial on this. It's kind of embarrassing. But for those of you that agree with me that I don't look so great, just ignore that and we'll get on to the tag part of this video. Thank you, Nur. She's my first official tag. I am so honored that it came from Nur. And just to be clear, it is 5 random facts, and Nur cheated and gave a bonus, number 6, which I think I might be able to pull off. I did have to really reach for 5 interesting things about me. At least I think they're kind of interesting. So, with no further ado, except for, I forgot to start the timer, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, here we go. Number 1. Actually, no, this is a precursor to the numbers. Many of the things that Nur mentioned, I also have in common with her, which is scary because we didn't talk about this. Actually, we've never talked. But in our little emailing, this has never come up. But yes, I have a major pen fetish. I am obsessed with all things vampire and serial killer, and I can say for sure that what turned me on to that was in 8th grade. I finished an English assignment early, and Mr. Monroe let me read his copy of Interview with a Vampire, and that was it for me. And I'm obsessed with all things ancient Egypt and ancient Greek. I'm into the whole mythology part of it. And when I was in 4th grade, I was convinced that I was Artemis, or that I could be Artemis. I had a very active imagination when I was a child. So, that aside, some other things about me that you may not know. Number 1. I had a commercial driver's license. After college, the summer I graduated from college, I didn't want to get a real job yet, and I knew I was going to graduate school, so I didn't have to. So I worked as a counselor in a day camp, and because I was over 21, actually I was 21 when I graduated, so I was encouraged to get a commercial driver's license so that I could drive a school bus and pick up the camp kids and take them to and from camp every day. So that's not something everybody has. Mine has since expired, but I did hold a commercial driver's license. So that is an odd fact about me. Number 2, I skipped 2nd grade. I never attended 2nd grade. I went from 1st grade to 3rd grade. Just missed that whole thing. And what's funny is, I guess a big unit back when I was in 2nd grade was how to tell time, and to this day, I still kind of have to think when I look at a watch with numbers, you know. So there are some advantages to skipping a grade, but one of the biggest disadvantages is you may miss some important skills in life, like learning how to tell time. That could have fit into interesting fact number 3. I did not have a girlfriend, like a friend who was a girl, until I was in the 4th grade. I preferred to play with the boys. I was a huge tomboy. I spent most of my childhood climbing trees, building forts, playing cops and robbers with the other boys in the neighborhood, kickball games, ninja, fight games. I have a little brother who is actually not little. He's 6'5". I'm 5'4", so he was always bigger than me pretty much from the get-go. So I was just one of those rough and tumble girls. Even as far as into 8th grade, I had my mom chop off all my hair really short like a boy because I didn't know how to do hair and I didn't want to be bothered with it. So, yeah, and that goes into, because of that, no makeup, didn't get into hair, didn't own a curling iron until college, a little late to the makeup game. So that is interesting random fact number 3. And that could be influenced by just skipping a grade. I was younger than everybody in the grade I went into, so I was a little more socially immature. But even when I was with my own age group, I preferred to hang with the boys. There was less drama, I guess I picked up. Even at 3, I knew girls usually go with drama. Number 4. I'm trying to decide what order I wrote them down. Number 4. Okay, here's number 4. I knew I was going to marry my husband at our first date. Actually, the next day. I called my aunt and said, that's it, I'm done. I'm marrying this boy. I'm set. He's the one for me. And apparently he felt the same way because we were engaged 2 months later, much to our parents' shock and horror. In fact, I think his father's exact words were, "Is she pregnant?" But then we were engaged for 3 long years because we were both still in graduate school, and our parents agreed that they would be supportive of the marriage and pay for the wedding and continue to pay for our graduate school as long as we finished school, got a job, worked for a year, and saved up our money. So we thought that was a great plan. I don't know if they came up with that plan hoping that we would change our mind along the way, but that was 16 and a half years ago, and we've been married for 13 and a half years and have, as you know, 2 beautiful children. Well, you have to take my word for it, you haven't seen them, but we think they're beautiful, and 3 wonderful dogs, so I think things have worked out just fine. And interesting fact number 5. So you know that I'm very much a tomboy and wasn't really into makeup and clothes until recently, but right off the bat, as a brand new wife, I wasn't just a new young wife, I was a military officer's wife. My husband was in the military. He was an officer in the Air Force, and I went right into the very conservative, very formal military world as a young wife, and went to all the parties and the dining outs and all the ceremonies and all the potluck dinners and all the little couples things you do when you're a military wife, and joined the Officers' Wives Club and sat on that board. And I laugh because looking back on it, it was like a different person lived that life. That's just not my style. It was fun while we did it, and I'm glad that I got to experience that part of that culture. It is definitely a different culture from the rest of mainstream America, particularly the sub-branch, I guess you call it, of the Air Force my husband was in, which I can't really go into too much detail, but it was a very different world, and it was a lot of fun, and it was great as a young wife with no kids. We had a blast, and when I tell friends who I've met since then that didn't know me then, they just can't reconcile the t-shirt and jeans wearing girl with the very formal, very proper world that I was part of for almost 5 years. So, now, bonus, you know what, I flew through those. I'm really proud of myself. That was only like 7-8 minutes. So, bonus question, or random fact, even though I was a tomboy and not into the makeup and all that, my mother was a stage mom, if that's the way to put it. And so she got me into modeling as a child, I don't know, before I could speak. And my claim to fame, if I look familiar, no, I'm kidding, but it still runs. I was in a commercial when I was in 4th grade. I was 8 years old, and I was in a commercial for Flavor Ice. So if any of you ever get the popsicles that are frozen in the little plastic case, and they come in lovely colors like green and orange and purple. There's Pop Ice, but I was Flavor Ice. I was one of the Flavor Ice kids, and the commercial occasionally still runs, which is bizarre. And the only great thing about the experience was that a lot of that money that I made from it paid for things like books for college and things like that. But this ties in with my tomboy thing. My first check, the bonus check that I got from, I guess, signing or whatever, I used it to buy a chemistry set and a microscope. I was so excited. I still remember all the little jars of chemicals I had lined up, and I made my first experiment. I think I made I don't remember which 2 chemicals you combine and it glows, like a pink glowy substance is created. And the microscope, I remember I had a fly's wing on a slide, and I just loved science. And yeah, so even though I was spending time, in front of photographers and stuff like that, I just wanted to play with my microscope and mix chemicals and blow things up. So to this day, I cannot eat a green Flavor Ice because for every take, they give you a new one, and that I think there were maybe 30 takes that day. It was a lot of, I was sick I was so sick when I got home. I still remember that feeling. But yeah, so that's my 5 random facts plus a bonus. So I don't know if you find that interesting. They're kind of weird. They're weird and completely random facts about me. And I'm sorry this is quick. Like I said, I'm running on about 4 hours of sleep over the last week or so each night. So I'm a little... And as soon as this festival is over tomorrow, I'm going to get a good long night's sleep and hopefully be up and filming some normal videos starting maybe Sunday. I need a day off to let my mind get back to normal. And I just want to let you know I'm going to be doing a contest. Yay! My first contest, because I'm rapidly approaching 2,000 subscribers, which is not a lot to, you know, most normal people who do this, but to me, I'm just astonished that there's that many people that watch this. It's just crazy. It's fun, but it's crazy. And I've met, so to speak, some really amazingly cool women on YouTube, and I'm really grateful for this. And I remember when I had my first 5 subscribers, I was going crazy because one of them was in England, and I just thought, this is the coolest thing ever, that I'm talking to people on the other side of the world. And I was even anal enough to write down like my first 100 subscribers because I was so excited as each one joined. And my kids would come home from school and we'd check to see how many subscribers I had. So I want y'all to know that I don't take this for granted. I am really, really grateful every time you take 5, 10, 15 minutes out of your day to watching me babble. I'm really appreciative, and I love getting the feedback and the advice and the comments and the suggestions. So keep it coming. You will have to be a subscriber to win, and I will do a separate video on what that contest is very soon, maybe Sunday. So I hope the rest of you have had a great week and have a great weekend coming up. There go the dogs. So with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I will check in with y'all at the end of the weekend. Bye-bye.